Hey guys, hope you guys are having a good day so far, or good night, depending when you watch this. Today, we get to talk about episode 6 of our JJD type vocal series. Today, we get to talk about tact, man. And look, I'll tell you this, I had so many issues with tact growing up, especially in the business, because, I'm a pretty raw kind of person. But we've been talking about the 14 leadership traits that are recommended for leaders to have, particularly in the military. It's one of those things that we are extremely focused on whenever we become, for example, a non-commissioned officer in the military. They teach you, or they send you to a school where they focus on sharpening these 14 traits where people just become extremely well-rounded as a leader, and they become extremely effective. People get to follow them, they build trust with their command. And so transitioning outside of the military, you can utilize these 14 traits to completely revolutionize the way that you go about business, the way you do business, people that trust you, etc. Okay, and today we get to talk about number 6, which is TACT. We've talked about yesterday, or 2 days ago, about number 5, which is decisiveness. We've already covered 5 of them. First one being justice. Then you have to be a just leader. Having a good judgment is number 2. Number 3, being a dependable leader. Okay. Number 4, being a person of initiative. Guys, when you're leading, you gotta have initiative. Okay. Number 5, being a decisive person, having the decisiveness, ability. And today we get to talk about number 6, which is tact. And tact is a skill that enables you to work with others without causing conflict. Joshua Gilbert Holland said that the secret to a man's success resides in his insight into the moods of people and his tact in dealing with them. And this is so key. Right now we are working on a series on our academy that talks about, for example, emotional intelligence, and we actually are going to be talking about something called social intelligence going forward. And when I hear the word tact, I get to think about that. It's about you having that ability of kind of measuring where people are at with their emotions, and then you can help them navigate through those in a tactful way, that you don't offend them, that you don't say something that's too harsh. And so that all has to do with tact. One of the best things that happened to me in my career in the service was that I became extremely well known at having the ability to communicate with my upline, with my leaders, uplines or command, with my commanding officers in a very good, eloquent way, very respectful. But I always got my point across whenever we needed something done. And sometimes, some of my lieutenants, for example, had a different opinion. I developed the ability to have extreme tact with them, to the point that I would tell them, look, we ain't doing that, we're doing this, in of course using different words, and they would love it. They were like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, sergeant, staff sergeant, we're gonna get this done that way. I agree with you, because one of the things that you develop when you have tact is you have the ability to utilize words that make people think that this is their idea, that is not your idea. When you have tact, you become so so skillful with words that you can almost insult people, and they'll thank you for it, because they are thinking like, oh man, this guy, it's like, oh, he's so nice, right? And so that's what having tact means. In the world of business, for example, a lot of times people get forced or are forced to challenge their leaders. And the problem that I see a lot of, us do, and this has happened to me in the past, is that we cannot let our emotions run rampant, and we go and we say things that we don't really think about, and then we end up offending or insulting the person that's in charge for a company or an organization. And so what ends up happening is that person then becomes more defensive, and it doesn't matter if you're right or not right. What's going to end up happening, guys, is that they're going to say, nope, whatever this guy says, we ain't doing. You could have the pill to cure cancer, and they're gonna be like, nope, not happening. Not because you're wrong, simply because you pissed them off. You said something in a way that wasn't too tactful, like no pun intended. And because of that, then now they become defensive about anything that you have to tell them, and they don't want to hear it from you. They just don't want to hear it. They don't want anything to do, with you, or what ideas that you have. And so, guys, you want to make sure that whenever you're, in a business position, especially when you're a leader in an organization, you have the ability to convey your point without being offensive. Being tactful sometimes means that shut up and don't say anything. That's what having tact means. And you gotta leverage. So if you're not too good at doing this, what you want to do is you want to leverage yourself. In my case, I do rely a lot on other people to kind of convey my message that I maybe have a better relationship with, because they understand my personality, how I am, how I react, how I think, and so they can go and tell people what I'm trying to say in a better way than I can, because they just got a better tact ability. It's one of the skills, by the way, that I need to continue to develop, because I'm not a master at it by any means, and definitely gotta work on that a lot. Sorry, becoming more tactful. But it's about you just kind of being very aware, okay, and just kind of take those words that Joshua Holland said. It's having the ability sorry, it's having the insight into the moods of people, and then be tactful in dealing with them. You're not, there's a saying that goes, you don't kick a horse when it's down, or something like that, right? You don't kick a man when he's down, because they might just lash out at you, right? You don't want to do that. When a man is down, when a man is wrong, you don't want to go kick him out, kind of, poop on their ego, because you think you're right, or maybe you are right, and then all of a sudden you're upset because they're the person in charge and you don't have a say, and then you just go and say whatever comes to your mind without really thinking and filtering what you're going to say, and that causes that person to just immediately shut down. They completely shut down to your message. They don't want to hear. They don't want to talk about it. Guys, it's a very dangerous place to be. Whenever you are in a leadership position, having tact will open a lot of doors, because what's going to allow you to do is to always convey your ideas, your opinions, get the things going that you want to get going for yourself in a way that it's very I guess soft is the word that I could utilize. Getting that point across for people. So be tactful out there. Have that ability, develop it. Try to learn. Invest in learning how people think and how people's moods kind of are, like how to read into what people are feeling, and what kind of mood they're at that moment. Learn and invest in yourself and learning how to do that, because the moment that you can learn how to manage people's emotions, and then you can kind of feed them something that's going to be quote unquote nice for them, then that's when you're going to start gaining people's hearts, and therefore you will get a lot more things done. If you are a person that is not on the high tier level of leadership in your company, of course you having the ability is going to allow you to impact the direction of your business at the higher levels, because your leaders and the people in charge, they want to have you around, because you have great ideas, you have great insights, and you're doing it in a way that doesn't take away from their leadership to put yourself on the spotlight. You learn how to do it in a way that it's almost like an influential conversation rather than a demand. And so those parts right there are going to allow you to be perceived as a person with tact. So hope that helped, guys. I know that it was a very short one this time, but it's one of the skills that really separates the great ones from the average leaders. Okay, nations have fallen because of the lack of tact. Corporations have gone down the drain because the person that was on the top didn't know how to convey their message in a way that wasn't offensive to others, and we want to avoid that as much as possible, especially in the world of business. So hope that helped, guys. And yeah, we're almost there. We are on number 6. Next week we got number 7 on the series, and I cannot wait to share with you guys about number 7, having integrity. Guys, we're going to do a panel at the end of the series where we're going to invite even people and talk about how some of these skills have been very instrumental for their development in business, and how they have used these skills for them to grow as people and become the leaders that they are today. And look, some of you guys might disagree with me. Let me tell you something. One of the things that I got yesterday from an audio is that I gotta learn how to not really care about what people think. And honestly, I don't. When it comes to this, these are kind of like laws of leadership that exist, and they're there for a reason. So make sure that you guys go out there, become tactful people, learn how to use your words, learn how to be an influential type of conversationalist rather than a demanding type of person when you speak. And that's going to open the ears and the hearts of the people that you're trying to influence. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.